Dhaka. Public gatherings have been banned and internet services cut. For weeks, students have demonstrated against a quota system that reserves public service posts for relatives of veterans of the War of Independence. At least 105 people have been killed and 300 police officers injured. The pressure is mounting on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. 6 months ago, she won a fourth consecutive term in elections that were boycotted by the opposition. She's called for calm and cancelled trips to Spain and Brazil. For more on this, we're going to go live now to Tanvir Chowdhury, who joins us from Dhaka. And Tanvir, army on the streets, hundreds of police injured as well, more than 100 protesters killed. This curfew is in place. Can you just give us an idea of exactly what it is like there right now?
It's superficially calm, to be honest. It's very tense. People are somber. I mean, they couldn't believe what happened last few days. So many people dead. When we cruised around the city, we saw burned cars, buildings burned, scattered brick bats everywhere. Heavy presence of particularly police. There are military presence. Of course, the curfew is still on. They only had two hours break. People rushed to the grocery stores and kitchen market, did their shopping and went back. But it's not like heavily enforced. There are people with essential needs, emergency, going to the airline, flying or anything are allowed in. But it's tense. And as I talked to you just a few minutes ago, I had firing about half a kilometer from where we are, continuous firing of guns. We talked to a lot of our colleagues in different spots, local TV journalists and others. They said there are scattered violence all across the city, not like last couple of days, but there are some violence. We were in Mohakali, where there was major violence last 2 days, and there's still a standoff between the police and the protester. They're far away, and the police were telling them to disperse by mic, but there's no violence that time. There's no clash. So it is tense. People are very apprehensive what will happen next. They're not sure. There's a large degree of uncertainty in the country right now.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, the Prime Minister Hasina has cancelled her foreign trips to Spain and Brazil that were coming up. Obviously taking this seriously, what has the government had to say about these protests?
Well, the government is trying to blame this on the main opposition party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and other opposition parties, as well as the religious party, Jamaat-e-Islami. They said they've infiltrated the student protests, and they're the one who's instigating and creating this anarchy. All the opposition parties did put their support for the students. What we saw on the ground, to be honest, while mixing with the students during the protest and after the protest, there are a lot of ordinary people, working people, rickshaw pullers, shopkeepers who are supporting the students. There's a great degree of frustration in the country right now because of troubled economy, high inflation, soaring food prices, and many people don't accept this government by the fact that it was not participatory. They feel like this came by force to power. And that pent-up frustration is now expressed in the street with the students. Even when we came here, we met a lot of people. They're angry that why so many people had to be killed. We know that police people were hurt, journalists were hurt during these riots, a lot of properties were damaged, but people seems to be like, this was almost coming, this burnt up anger had to be in the streets. So it's not over. The pressure is on the government. It didn't face this kind of outrageous explosion of protests all across the country. They never experienced this since 2013. So a great deal of uncertainty in the country right now, and nobody really knows where it will end up in weeks or months even.
Okay, we'll be keeping a close eye on how things develop there. Thanks so much, Tanvir Chowdhury, for us in Dhaka.